Zoe was always obsessed with this serial, Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. Not much of a chance, no. Mind if I ask why you're interested?
She's living in Marauders nearby, and I gotta get something to tempt her back to camp.
Zoe's living with marauders? Yeah, that sounds like the sort of sideways, sprat-brained plan Zoe'd come up with. Yeah, could be you're telling the truth. Or maybe you're trying to wheedle me into relinquishing my only copy of the Masked Marketeer. It's a collector's edition after all.
Look at my face. Do I look like I give a damn about your show?
Yeah, you're probably right. A true fan would have displayed a gleam in their eye upon hearing the words collector's edition. Here you go, latest copy of the Masked Marketeer. Tell Zoe we're all waiting on her.
Oh, is there no fast travel over there? Well, if today is the marathon reveal, I'll have to make sure I pay attention to that. I'll try to get a reaction video out to it later today. I'm doing the, I got more, basically every single afternoon right now I'm doing Dune Awakening stuff and then programming
Incoming!
a bunch of... Dude, this changes combat entirely.
That's the last of them!
Having like 2 companions instead of just the one.
That was quick.
That's what she said.
What I wouldn't do for a Wentworth.
Hey, I haven't sent to find you.
Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
Stefan told me about your favorite cereal.
So you tracked me down just to gab about the Masked Marketeer? I am impressed.
Stefan wanted to watch this with you.
I see what's going on here. I'm being bribed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's working. I can't say no to my favorite cereal. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
Alright, that should clear that quest up out of my journal. Nope. I still gotta go back and talk to Grace. Finest cigars in Halcyon, Wentworth Cigarettes.
What is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway?
Jesus. Having 2 companions changes everything. Wife overhears, hilarious results follow.
You pretty much did my job for me.
Having multiple
Least
companions
I
is a
can
lot of
do
work.
is pay
It's too
you for
much
your
work.
trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Alright, I think we are done with those quests now. Alright, let's go introduce Parvati to Junli Tennyson. Oh, I can go straight to the unreliable interior now.
Pick up any more strays while you were out? I suppose if the crew's quarters fill up, we could hang hammocks in the cargo hold.
Ada, you're a smartass.
The groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
So there's 4 more companions you can find.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Hey, no offense, but I don't think this walking Saltunican's gonna appreciate you interrupting.
Keep talking, Millstone. See what happens. Now's not a good time. I'm dealing with a problem here.
So, go space yourself. Problem solved.
You must really want a truncheon through your teeth.
Relax, let me talk to the kid.
Do what you want. I'm done here.
Whatever you heard, it's all true.
So what happened?
I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
And that's when you resolved your differences like an adult, right?
That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
Got any plans?
Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
That's me, the captain of the Unreliable.
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama.
Damn right I am.
Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time.
Never cut your name. In a hurry to get somewhere?
Oh, not at all. Just, you know, gonna figure out what to do next.
Oh, he's gonna totally stow
See you
away on
around,
my
boss.
ship. He's totally gonna stow away on my ship. I'm calling it right now.
Just arrived? Head over to customs. Wheeler needs to process you.
Gonna head to Varus for whiskey and darts. Customs and inspection, right this way.
Identification, please.
Kill him now and he won't be able to. You see murder hobos. Alright. Here you go.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
Well, shit.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now,
Kinda
hold
what
on,
happened in
this isn't the
Edgewater.
end of the world. Probably.
How do I get this resolved?
You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it.
Any idea why my ship was impounded?
Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important.
Me? Little old me? Surely not. I'm gonna wring this Bedford guy's neck.
You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with?
God, you know what I would love is a modern, like, one of these style games, but set in the Quest for Glory world. I know it'd never happen, like, but yeah, that'd be really cool. Looking for someone named Gladys.
The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Be seeing you.
I didn't have anything to do with Edgewater. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey.
You're kind of cute. What's up?
Move along.
All right.
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the Scholar shipped in and out with.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
You know what? I just realized something too. I haven't done any gear stuff with him because I just got him as a character. I need to get him some better gear for sure. Oh, do I have a new version of that?
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You are hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that? Graham?
Asshole.
Alright, I need to do some companion stuff here really quick because I didn't realize that I could have 2. And now that I can, I definitely want to have her be a melee build and have her be aggressive. And have him be mixed, I think. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's do a save. I can't wait for the next Starfield expansion, Transcend. I love that game. Oh, is Mardet the name for, like, the guards? I thought it was her name, and it's not. So I guess it's just a name for their... Oh! Welcome to the bright
Try not to
lights
be
of
distracted by
civilization.
the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
Candy shop around a sweet purple berry flavored center. Suck it, chew it, you can do it.
That's what she said. The Lost Hope, Breast and Go, Spacer's Choice,
What
Bells,
the hell's going on?
Shells.
We were in a holding pattern for 2 hours just to get in.
Comms had to go on break. Chief didn't have enough hands to coordinate docking. Something about the radiators being busted. I don't know. Not my problem, right?
Medical Bay, Waste Disposal. The Halcyon, okay.
CNP Borst Potter. Can be microwaved in 2.5.
Payment in exchange for return of legal salvage. Sublight salvage and shipping. Alright. Spratwurst. Haha. Ike's Armory. Auntie Cleo. How do I get back there? Greasy.
This is House
XF411s? And an old Yakita 37? You think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to Monarch is restricted for your protection. Canyons of acid and sulfur rain are the least of the horrors plaguing the surface of Monarch. Anarchists live as one with the animals.
Thought there'd be more machinery. Must be housed on a sublevel.
I could spend all day in here and not have looked at half the best stuff. It's all pretty worn, though.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my
If I had to guess,
Hope
that's
you
when
don't
they
mind
will
the formal
announce stuff
introduction.
transcend. The
Groundbreaker
past
doesn't
couple
seem
of
many
years, that's when
visitors.
they've done the Starfield announcements, is during the Summerfest. So that's in June. I think June is the Xbox event, if I'm not mistaken. Nice place you got here, Chief.
No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems while you're visiting.
No problems from me. I'll do whatever I can to help you keep the peace. I'll try not to start fights, but I might have to end some.
Ain't that always the way? So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through.
Oh, once I get an M impound, I'm bound for the Monarch.
Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going.
Oh, yes, they
Most
did,
of them board
Thandar.
spies and corporate threats.
Yeah.
Makes it hard to trust outsiders. You seem different, so welcome aboard.
So the first DLC is kind of like a standalone adventure that has to deal with one of the companions. And it just takes place on a single planet, and it's its own storyline. But the overarching theme of the game, without spoiling anything if you haven't played it, the overarching main story is that you're essentially part of a multiverse. That would be the easiest way to explain it. You're part of a multiverse, and you get to the point through the storyline where you can traverse the multiverse. And so the basically the end game of Starfield is that you can go through and try out different versions of the multiverse and see all the little changes that happen every time you spin up a new version of the universe. And you can progressively get more powerful as you go through and do that. So there's still a ton of questions left behind who created the temples that you find along the way. there's more. There's a whole lot left on the table in terms of all that stuff. And so, oh yeah, there's lots of places they can go for DLC. Not only that, but they also have the fact that when they launched the game with 1,000 planets, right? So one of the coolest parts about launching the game with 1,000 planets is that they have the option now to go back and say, we're going to have a DLC that's going to take place over in this specific planetary system with these 10 planets. And there's going to be a storyline that just takes place over there. And it could be its own independent storyline that doesn't have anything to do with like the main story. It can just be a Starfield adventure. Like, it could be whatever they want it to be. A brand new faction, you're chasing down an outlaw and his brothers, you could be, chasing down a cult of madmen who are disrupting the sector, a pirate king. Like, they could do all sorts of crazy stuff because they have this massive tapestry of 1,000 planets to play around with. So they don't even have to pursue main storyline stuff. Like, they could literally just start expanding on all of the systems that they built and flesh out all these little pockets of the galaxy. It's pretty impressive. I think that anybody who badmouthed the game didn't really understand what they were building. Because, yeah, there are limitations because of the engine they're using and things of that nature, but it's still a very impressive thing that they built. All right, Parvati, you wanted to talk to Junli. Go ahead.
What? I didn't think you just... Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Nudge her to continue.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if, well, maybe you could teach me some things. I could message you later, maybe?
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
You don't have to be shy about requesting time off.
Right. In person. Sure thing, Captain. Wow, great. I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Oh, your name's pretty too. I should have said sorry. I like it.
She's so awkward.
Honest.
It's funny as hell, man.
Sorry.
Nice job, Parvati.
Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention.
Seems kind of warm in here. What's going on?
Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into my ship.
Any reason you haven't fixed it yet?
Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner.
No room for compromise?
None. Every time I give in to the board, Groundbreaker loses its freedom. Soon there won't be anything left. I can't allow that. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone on board, will be cooked alive.
So I got to pause again here. So like what Transcend just said, and JK was saying the universe is a big place. They could expand to many other places if they wanted to. But that's the thing. Like, it is a big game. And I think a lot of players fail to realize how big of a game it is. Because there are a lot of people out there who just beelined the main quest, which is about 25 hours. Finished the main quest and went, oh, this is lame. This game is overhyped. There's nothing to do. They told me there was 1,000 planets. This is boring. So I think my first playthrough was like 160 hours. I think. I would have to go back and look at my original review at the end of my first playthrough. It was something like 160 hours. And most of my time, I would say half of that time, was me in my ship taking the Radiant quests and just going out and blowing pirates out of the sky and like taking out pirate bases and capturing pirate captains and stuff. There is, there are a limited number of like handwritten quests, but it's like if you've I can't remember if there's 6 or 8 factions, right? I think let's just say there's 6. Let's say there's 6 faction storylines. Each one of those faction storylines is around 6 to 8 hours of content, maybe 10 if you push it. But let's just say it's 6 hours of content per faction quest. That's about 36 to 40 hours of content just for the faction quests. Let's say 40 hours to round it up. 40 hours of content for all of the faction quests, right? Those are the single narrative storylines. Then there is the main quest, which is about 25 hours long. So there's 60 hours of content just between the main quest and the faction quests, right? That's the Radiant system I was just talking about, yeah. So there's about 60 hours of original linear storytelling in Starfield, just with main quests. Then there are probably another, I would argue, 20 hours worth of quests, more or less, that are like side quests, which are still original handwritten. And those are the things that aren't related to any single faction storyline, but they're just things you find and you run around doing the quests. Once you finish them, they're done, right? There's probably another 20 hours worth of those. So there's 80 hours of content just in original handwritten stories. Then, on top of that, you have shipbuilding, base building, and the Radiant quest system, which is what Transcend is mentioning, which is the mission board quests that you can get from the terminals. And those are like, basically, it's an AI system that randomly creates these sort of generic quests that you can do. And there's different types of those depending on which terminal you're at. But it's essentially delivery quests, space combat quests, track down a bounty quest, things of that nature, where you're going to be going and doing things in your ship, right? And then on top of that, they added the bounty system, which is part of the, what is it called? The creator store? So then there's all the official stuff that gets launched through that creator store, which other people have created for you to purchase and download and play. Then there's all that stuff, and there are people who have created their own storylines that you can go purchase and play within that universe. So there is a shitload of things to do. There are a shitload of things to do in Starfield. It is a massive game. The downside would be, yes, I will agree that Bethesda needs to not necessarily move to a new game engine, but they have to move away from the architecture of everything is a zone, because that shit sucks. It sucks to play a game that's all zones, and it's just loading screen after loading screen after loading screen. Even this game does it. Like, that's the old school architecture of, like, everything is a zone. And so everything has a loading screen. I much prefer the modern thing, like where Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did it, or Cyberpunk did it, where everything is open and you don't, like, there might be a loading screen between regions, but the regions are massive and everything within the regions, like, you could spend 50 hours in a region and never see a single loading screen because it's all, loading seamlessly behind the scenes. That is a piece of tech that Bethesda really needs to work on, because if Elder Scrolls 6 launches and it's got loading screens, they are going to get just wrecked, because people were already pissed about it in Starfield. And it's going to, like, if they try to release Elder Scrolls 6 in 2029 or 2030 and it's got loading screens like that, holy shit. Like, that's not cool. Like, Bethesda needs to get up to modern times in that aspect of what they're building. But everything else that they have done with, like, Starfield is very impressive. The tech that they use for the spawning of the planets, the procedural generation aspect of planet exploration, that's very impressive. It's similar to what No Man's Sky does, but it's their own unique system. When they added the buggies, it made planetary exploration actually exciting. To go out there and, like, explore and find all these unique POIs and, you will start to see some procedural stuff after a little while. But again, I like to look at the Starfield foundation and say a lot of people have forgotten that Skyrim, when it launched, was just Skyrim. And then over 10 years of time, Skyrim got multiple DLCs. It got all of that shit from the creator program and the creator store, right? Is it called creator store? The creator program? It's like where everybody creates the stuff that you can then buy to put into the game and all the mods that you can use to put into the game. Like, people forget that Skyrim, when it launched, was just a game. It was a buggy mess. And then over 10 years of time, 15 years of time, it became this thing. I look at Starfield the same way. Starfield is a foundation layer that had some hiccups when it started, but they have worked hard and they have done some serious improvements to that game since it launched. And it is a game where it very much has a solid foundation layer that can be built on over the next 10 or 15 years without ever needing to release a Starfield 2, if that makes sense. They can just keep coming in with new DLC, the creator kit, creator pack. People can create new content, sell that content on the store. Like, Starfield literally is something that can be expanded upon for more than a decade before they ever need to worry about doing a new Starfield game.